Hello, and welcome to this Nutritional Outlook webinar, Learn How Natural Vegetarian Softgels Can Address Needs of the Natural Consumer, brought to you by Catalent. My name is Michael Crane, Associate Editor for Nutritional Outlook, and I will be your moderator today. This webinar is designed to be interactive. Learn about today's speakers, view additional resources from our sponsor, share and talk about this webinar via various social media outlets, and submit questions by clicking on the widgets in the dock at the bottom of the console. Please ask questions at any time during the presentation by typing your question in the Ask a Question widget and by clicking Submit. Submit questions as they come to mind, and our speaker will address them during the Q&A session as time permits. At the end of this webinar, we will ask you to complete a short survey. Please take a moment to fill this out, as your feedback is important to us and will provide valuable information on the subjects covered in this webinar, as well as how we can improve future broadcasts. Now, I am pleased to welcome Claudia Valla. Claudia has 15 years of experience in food supplement development. She is the Product Development Advisor for Catalent Pharma Solutions, based in Italy, where she provides the R&D Innovation Group with expertise in scouting, finalizing, and promoting opportunities in new product development for the nutritional supplement category. I'm also pleased to welcome Monica Feldman. Monica is the Head of Industry Research, Consumer Health for Euromonitor International, based in Chicago, Illinois. Her main responsibilities include the management of the consumer health industry at the global level, divided in 4 main categories: OTC drugs, vitamins and dietary supplements, weight management, and sports nutrition. I now hand it off to you, Monica.
Thank you very much, Michael, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a good day. During this session, I would like to share insights about the use and value of herbal, botanical, and traditional remedies for the prevention and healing of symptoms and diseases, to later move to discuss opportunities for growth for natural products, and to finally leave you with some final remarks looking ahead. In terms of the scope of this presentation, all values are expressed in U.S. terms using a fixed 2015 exchange rate, and our figures for 2015 are based on part year estimates just because the year is not over yet. And also all our historical and forecast data are expressed in constant or real terms, which means that there is no inflation. And the reason we do that is we can show a natural growth of the market. Our definition of consumer health involves the aggregation of the categories of OTC drugs, vitamins and dietary supplements, weight management, and sports nutrition. And within the, within this space, herbal and traditional products are those which main focus is the natural origin, specifically, herbal and traditional products and others such as fish oils, omega fatty acids, probiotics, and glucosamine. So let's take a quick snapshot of the industry. According to our most recent estimates, the retail value sales of herbal and traditional products will reach close to $36 billion globally in 2015, representing a growth of 4% off from the previous year. And as more consumers adopt natural prevention and healing practices, we expect the industry to grow 22% by year 2020. In order to understand what is influencing the consumer behavior toward natural products, we carried out a survey of close to 16,000 consumers across the world to measure their opinion on green and ethical preferences. As you can see on the left side, about 50% of consumers favor green and environmentally friendly products, fair trade, and sustainability topics. Now, on the right-hand chart, and looking at the green and environmentally friendly trends and how important these mean for consumers, we see that green perception varies significantly by geography. Ironically, while consumers in China, Brazil, and India claim to favor green initiatives when they decide to purchase a product, the United States is actually one of the countries where this trend is not as strong, but it is growing. So perhaps the perception of in China and India towards green trends may come from a lower degree of urbanization that allows for a higher appreciation for their natural environment and what they consume. I'm just hold on one second. I'm having a slight problem here. Previous. Can I get the next slide, please? It'll be the previous one. There you go. On the previous one, please. Thank you. Okay, in the same survey, consumers were asked about their motivations toward healthy living. On the left, you can see that about 75 to 80% of consumers feel that healthy habits contribute to their well-being, closely followed by the importance of taking care of themselves and their family's well-being. Obviously, these motivations are being reflected on the type of goods and products that consumers purchase. This finding highly influences consumer health as individuals are paying more attention to the prevention of diseases and the timely treatment of conditions. The chart to the right reveals that for most countries, healthy habits are an important part to the well-being of consumers. Okay. Now, looking into the consumer health industry, we see that the combined retail value sales of OTC drugs, vitamins, dietary supplements, weight management products, and sports nutrition is expected to generate $211 billion in 2015. Within that total, herbal and traditional products for the prevention and treatment of diseases will post $36 billion. There is a typo in the figure, as it should be 36 and not 26 billion. From this universe, we can split the views into two, treatment and prevention. Within treatment, we have the following categories: herbal and traditional analgesics consisting of products formulated with ingredients such as capsaicin, menthol, etc. Herbal and traditional sleep aids made with valerian root, passion flower, and other botanicals. Herbal and traditional cough, cold, and allergy usually uses ingredients such as eucalyptus, honey, menthol. Herbal and traditional digestive remedies include all those products with natural ingredients with like senna, charcoal, prune juice, salts, etc. And then herbal and traditional dermatologicals contain oils, like tea tree oil and other natural oils that help, with the skin health. Alternatively, we know that prevention is one of the major forces driving sales in consumer health. Consumers do not want to get sick, and when given the option, they are seeking remedies or products perceived as less toxic or with reduced chemicals. Within this space, we have herbal and traditional dietary supplements marketed to children. We also have herbal and traditional dietary supplements mostly consisting of botanicals such as ginseng, ginkgo biloba, garlic, cranberry supplements, etc. Herbal and traditional tonics, which are highly concentrated formulations of botanicals and other traditional ingredients, are sold usually as shots or mini drinks. So in other words, health and wellness is the foundation of a strong emerging trends toward prevention of minor ailments and chronic diseases that will place more attention on natural options. In this map, I would like to show you how herbal and traditional products have grown in retail value sales since 2010. One thing that I like to point out is that the growth is from 2010 through 2015. It is not the cumulative average growth rate as mistakenly stated in the footnote below. So apologies for that. The growth shows important contrast in the 80 countries where we track sales. As a key point, we acknowledge that recent official recognition on the health benefits of traditional medicine by leading health institutions such as the World Health Organization has helped formalize many natural products used in consumer health due to tradition and long-standing use. Yet we see more strict regulatory activity as related to health claims, safety and efficacy of botanicals that has made it more challenging for companies and marketers to sell herbal and traditional products in some markets, particularly in Europe. In this chart, I would like to show you the value of some of the herbal and traditional dietary supplements across time in 2010, 2015, and 2020, as well as the CAGR for the next 5 years through 2020. Combinations of herbals or botanicals are actually becoming very popular as they try to capitalize a multi-benefit approach in one product. These products are typically proprietary blends that sell based on claims, for example, digestive health, memory health, energy, women's health, etc. Ginseng is also quite popular as an energy booster, particularly in Asia Pacific. Similarly, ginkgo biloba is benefiting the rising consumer interest in cognitive health, while the old and humble garlic has lost some sales to other cardiovascular health boosters such as fish oils, omega fatty acids, and coenzyme Q10. Particularly for St. John's wort, it continues to face regulatory battles due to its effects on behavior and also their potential adverse events with several prescription and OTC drugs. Natural is not necessarily tied to just botanical. In a separate analysis, we see that other naturally derived supplements such as probiotics, fish oils, omega fatty acids, and glucosamine have seen their good share of growth in the past 5 years. Probiotics are moving from the prevention and treatment of diarrhea to digestive health maintenance and to other applications for oral health, vaginal health, and immunity with added vitamin B or vitamin C. Fish oils and omega fatty acids have grown importantly due to their cardiovascular benefits. And finally, glucosamine saw a bit of a slip in sales to negative media reports on the health benefits of glucosamine for joints in healthy individuals. However, an aging population with deteriorated joints may increase the demand for glucosamine that will see improved sales in the next 5 years. Now, if we were going to take a snapshot on how natural herbal traditional products play in the world, we notice that there's still a high level of fragmentation. As mentioned previously, combinations show strong sales in all regions, yet ginseng sees higher demand in Asia Pacific, the Middle East, and Africa as hectic lifestyles of adults call for supplements that promote energy, whereas ginkgo biloba is more popular in Eastern and Western Europe as an aging population seeks to maintain or preserve their cognitive health. Another manner to dissect how consumers perceive the health benefits of dietary supplements is by showing the top 5 health benefits positions by region. When looking at the retail value on how it is split by health benefit, we see important differences by region. Beauty supplements, for example, are important drivers of sales in Asia Pacific, while heart health is a more important benefit perceived in Australia or Australian and New Zealand, the Americas, and Western Europe. Bone health, mostly in the form of calcium supplements, is popular in most regions except Western Europe. And while sexual health is important in Eastern Europe, women's health is more relevant in Australia and New Zealand. Even more interesting it is when you see this same data by country within the same region. We cannot assume that what drives sales in one country, it will be the same case in another. So as I prepare to wrap up my presentation, I would like to touch on the newer demands of the consumer health industry. And some of the markers are missing from this particular slide. However, I would like to point out the main drivers in which consumers are not only requesting high-strength or fast-acting formulations, they are also paying more attention to the label and ingredients, looking for things such as allergen-free, no synthetic dyes, gluten-free, etc., sugar-free, vegetarian and vegan options, specific certifications that comply with dietary restrictions such as kosher and halal, whole food supplements, many of them consisting of natural-based ingredients, for example, dried and milled servings of fruits and vegetables now sold as powder or in capsules, and ethical labels looking for transparency in the closure of ingredients, origin, and sustainability. So looking ahead, I would like to summarize. Let's see. Next slide, please. The looking ahead? Okay, thank you. A holistic, natural, and safer approach to health and wellness may solidify the consumer appreciation of supplements made with natural ingredients. The consumer activism will continue to influence corporate strategy related to formulation, marketing message, and overall engagement. It is becoming a complicated task to differentiate brands and options in the retailing space, especially in markets reaching saturation. This calls for strategic thinking and creative solutions. So obviously, the natural concept may open new opportunities for growth and revenue generation. So the position of dietary supplements is always an art. And with that, I would like to end my session at this point, and I would like to introduce Claudia Valla. Hold on a sec. Let me go to the introduction.
Thanks, Monica.
Right. Sure.
Everybody. I am Claudia Valla. I work with the Catalent as a product development advisor from Consumer Health Business Unit with a special focus on food supplements category. Here you can see what I will talk about during this presentation. I will start by giving an overview of softgel technology. What is a softgel? What makes it so special to be a preferred dosage form? What are its added values and relevant consumer advantages and benefits? Then I will talk about Veggie plant-based technology, which is a 100% natural, animal-free technology within a softgel platform. I will touch related consumer features and benefits to natural markets. We will then come into practice by making some market examples. Thanks to Monica, we have been introduced to the high potentiality of the natural market. Now we will have the opportunity to see how Veggie capsule can be a flexible tool to enter this market. How we can create appealing product features and new opportunities for successful product differentiation thanks to Veggie technology. So let's start to understand what's the softgel. The softgel is composed by the outer layer, which is the shell, and the inner part, which is called the film. The shell is a combination of gelatin, water, opacifier, and a plasticizer that can be glycerin or sorbitol. This is for the traditional softgel. For the Veggie softgel, we have, instead of gelatin, carrageenan in a highly specialized grade marine-based, modified starch, and plasticizer water. Then we can have, depending on the type of softgel, also in the shell, colors such as opacifiers or flavoring when needed. Inside the softgel, in the film, there can be oil only or powder suspended in oil. This image gives you a general idea of how softgels are produced. If you look at it, you see that there are two gelatin ribbons transported towards two dye rolls, which have a pocket with a capsule shape inside. And there is a volumetric pump. This is located just over the conjunction line of the two ribbons. This pump injects the film material with a very precise dosing. While the dye rolls are rotating, the capsules are simultaneously filled, shaped, hermetically sealed, and get out from the gelatin ribbon. This encapsulation process has been invented by Robert Paul Scherer more than 8 years ago. Now that you have seen the process for which softgels are made, you can better understand some of the added values that are related to softgel as a dosage form. Of course, starting from the dose uniformity with the volumetric pump, there is an excellent reproduction of the dose volumes. That is really one characteristic typical of softgels with respect to other dosage forms. And of course, you can also understand that the softgels are tamper evident. It's difficult to manipulate a softgel without evidence. But there are not only these added values that are related to the manufacturing process. There are many other values that are very important to the consumers. First of all, if we think to a softgel as a product that has an immediate consumer impact on compliance, because it is really easy to swallow and it's able to mask the taste and aroma of also odoriferous substances inside. And this is also very easy to understand, because when you take a softgel, it becomes immediately slippery when it becomes into contact with saliva. So even for big dosage and big capsule size, you will have a very good solubility. It's a consumer preference, it's attractive, it's technological advanced, and if we think to connect the softgel to the natural market that has been so good introduced by Monica, we think that softgel is very well perceived from consumer, and it has been connected with a more natural image. It's cost efficacy, and it has high potency, and this is also very important for the natural market because it protects the compounds from oxidation. It's hermetically sealed, and also the delicate actives can be protected because there is no compression of the actives like it happens, for example, for tablets. Then it's also very important for the natural market is that with the softgels we don't have the use of preservatives. And here's a high tolerability with a 100% biodegradable shell, and furthermore, inside the softgel we have the oil, which is a medium that is able to protect the mucosa. So there is a very good tolerability among consumers. So it's not the same to do the same formulation in softgel or in another dosage form, and we will see why. Bioavailability is an essential driver for any biological effect, but it depends on many factors. One of them is the vehicle used to bring the active molecules and the relevant dispersibility of this active when ingested. If we can take into consideration liposoluble molecules or oils, it's more easy to understand why softgel is good, because of course the same polarity brings good solubility in the vehicle, which is always inside the softgel. So, but if we think, for example, to carotenoids, we see that carotenoids are a better vehicle when dispersed in oil. And also we have epidemiological data that brings to attention that when we give carotenoids or other liposoluble substance within a fatty meal, they are better absorbed. And this is what happens with softgels for liposoluble molecules. But this is not enough. We have also other advantages for hydrophilic powders, so compounds that are not liposoluble. We have powders dispersed into oils, as we have seen in the softgel description in the previous slide. And in this way, the powders are already suspended thanks to an emulsifying system, which creates and prepares in some way the powders for the digestion. They create an increased surface exposed to digestive enzymes. And the particle of the dispersion is very small, so it's more easily exposed to the digestion. So the traditional softgel, thanks to the oil matrix and the suspending system, that creates a reduced particle size of the droplets versus other traditional forms like the tablet, is a dosage form who has additional values in terms of bioavailability. Sorry. We have some examples that can prove this. Of course, it's not possible to have this data for all the formulation, but CoQ10 is a molecule that is already well known to be not so soluble and not so bioavailable by itself. If we compare bioavailability of CoQ10 in softgels versus tablets or granules, we see clearly that softgels is the preferred forms in terms of bioavailability because it performs better. Another example is silibene, which is the active compound, one of the active compounds of milk thistle extract, which is an extract used for liver health. And you see that when silibene is put inside a dosage form, which is the softgel, the PK is really performing very better with respect to, for example, the hard shell. So this is another example of increased bioavailability of compounds when vehicled in softgel as a dosage form. Softgel has many added value, but is also these values are also perceived by consumers. Softgel capsules are the dosage form most associated with the important attributes: effectiveness, fast acting, easy to digest, easy to swallow, and greater for on the go. For example, with chewable capsule. If we see data that came out from a survey in Europe, at European level, softgel is the most preferred dosage form compared with effervescent tablet, sachet, coated tablet, hard shell capsules, and tablet, and also fast-acting tablet. So you see that the consumers really perceive the difference when a formulation is vehicled in softgel than other dosage form. But also, it's very important to stay in this topic that softgel is also perceived as more natural from the consumer, as you see from another aspect taken from the same survey. If you compare softgel perception with respect to the same of other dosage form, you will see that it is outperforming. So softgel is perceived as most natural dosage form. So within softgel platform, we have the Veggie capsule technology, which is an animal-free technology of softgel by Catalent. Veggie capsule technology, thanks to the patented shell composition, is not only appealing from the point of view of the market, but also from the point of view of the technology, because it can permit to face challenging formulation. If we compare softgel and Veggie cap, traditional softgel and Veggie cap softgel, we see that with the Veggie caps we are able to encapsulate higher temperature and to encapsulate seal formulation that can be semi-solid and highly viscous liquid seals. Then we can have advantages over also using, for example, a higher pHA seal formulation, and also for these compounds that tend to form cross-linking with the gelatin, because of course in Veggie caps gelatin is not present, so we don't have this problem of cross-linking. Then we have high levels, improved stability when high levels of surfactants, and we have a compatibility with a broader range of seal excipients that can be used to enhance bioavailability and stability and create a microemulsion. So to sum up, thanks to its technological properties, the Veggie capsule is ideal for challenging fear formulation because it enables to encapsulate higher field temperatures, lipophilic, amphiphilic, and hydrophilic formulation, semi-solid and viscous fields, and higher pH fields, apart from a wider range of excipients and the more concentrated APIs. But Veggie Caps technology is not only something which is good from technological point of view. It's an example of how technological values can meet market demand. In fact, Veggie Caps is particularly important for food supplement category, where active ingredients of vegetable origin are more commonly used. Veggie Caps is an ideal solution for consumers seeking an alternative, an animal-free alternative to gelatin capsule. The Veggie Caps can offer expanded capability to encapsulate a wider range of nutritional products than, of course, the traditional gelatin-based Softgel. We can meet a non-animal alternative because of its natural and safe characteristic. We can have greater compatibility and complex formulation. If we think to the food supplement market, we see that the ingredients are numerous. We have a lot of choice, and many of the ingredients are vegetable origin. So this could really be good to be matched with the characteristic of Veggie Caps soft technology in order to create a new product opportunities. So talking about food supplements, we can think of Veggie Caps capsule as an optimal solution for multiple categories. Just to mention some, if you think about omega-3 nutritional oils, we can think about algal oil, fish oil, krill oil, or even primrose oil and other vegetable oils. Multivitamin formulation, mineral supplements, herbal supplements, but also food supplements that are a combination of different ingredients of the types that I have already mentioned and even more. Regarding product features and benefits, we have already talked about animal-free, but we can also understand easily that the Veggie Caps offers great potential to fit healthy lifestyles, dietary and religious restrictions that are becoming more popular in our Western world. They are softer than gelatin Softgel, and so it makes even more easy to swallow them. They are odor and taste free, and this creates improved consumer compliance. And last but not least, Veggie Caps is not boring. Veggie Caps is available in variety of colors, shapes, size, and clarity. So you can really use it as a creative tool for your new product differentiation. Now we come into practice. We will see how it's possible to offer some examples of Veggie Caps capsule application to enter the natural market. We are aware that consumer lifestyle trends have an impact on natural demand and innovation. We live in a fast-paced world where everything is digital, and we have a wider life expectation than in the past. But at the same time, we feel the need for a more natural approach to life. And words like transparency and free from, for example, GMO-free, are becoming more and more important attributes for consumers. So, in this context, we see that vegetarian diets are becoming more and more popular. And we know that vegetarian diets have many positive health effects, for example, cardiovascular, chronic diseases, and not communicable diseases of different kinds. However, they may result in specific nutritional deficiency. So why do not we think to a Veggie Cap capsule containing nutrients that are commonly lacking in vegetarian diets to formulate a new product? So this will permit us to take only the best from a veggie diet. We have here some example of nutrients that could be used in this product positioning in a Veggie Cap soft shell. But these are not the only one. For example, we are thinking about iron and zinc that are usually poor as a bioavailability in vegetarian diet because of the higher content of absorption inhibitor, such as phytates and polyphenols that are related to the vegetarian diet, because vegetables are rich of phytates and polyphenols that inhibit the absorption of iron and zinc. And also, if we think about iron in vegetable is not so bioavailable itself because it's in different form than it is in red meat instead, where it is a heme form, which is more bioavailable. We can think to add vitamin C because vitamin C can enhance iron absorption in the body. Another nutrient that we can think to include is vitamin B12, because it's difficult for people following a strict vegetarian diet to get the necessary amount of vitamin B12, because vitamin B12 is usually not found in a plant-based food. Talking about omega-3 deficiencies, it's easy to understand that EPA and DHA intake, because they come from fish, are low in vegetarians and, of course, virtually absent in vegans. Where can we produce EPA and DHA? We can produce EPA and DHA from ALA also, that is coming from vegetable oils, and can be endogenously converted to EPA and DHA. But the conversion is very slow, and the global process is not so efficient. It's affected by many factors such as genetics, sex, age, and dietary consumption. So it can happen that vegetarians do not have the right intake of EPA and DHA, and this is where we can intervene and put, for example, an algal oil containing DHA and EPA inside our Softgel Veggie capsule, and create a product that helps vegetarian people to get the best from their diet regimen. Beauty from within is another interesting category of food supplement industry. We have plenty of natural ingredients that are used both in topical and in oral products with the same beauty intent. Here we have just some examples. So I'm mentioning argan oil, for example, CoQ10, phytoceramides, borage oil, EPO for GLA, or other vegetable and precious oils. Vitamins, for example, A, C, E, but also other vitamins, and aloe, also another ingredient that is used both from topical point of view and from oral. And the carotenoids coming from plants or from fermentation, like lycopene from tomato lutein and astaxanthin. We have seen how natural is becoming mainstream and continues to expand across market categories and delivery forms. Softgel Veggie Caps is able to create a real entry into this natural market. With Veggie Caps, we have plenty of opportunities to enter the free-from market also, because we can talk about animal-free, free from animal derivatives, that is compatible with the consumer trends for all natural and for promoting a healthy lifestyle. We can also think free from religious and cultural constraints, apart from being odor and taste-free, that is important to help compliance. But also Veggie Caps capsule meet the dietary demands on gluten-free diets and sugar-free, and can help us to formulate when these requests are really important for the customers. Here we give some examples of animal-free Veggie Caps products and what type of ingredients can be contained in them. For the omega-3 range, we can talk about, for example, vegetable omega-3 like chia oil, flaxseed oil, or algal DHA. For the omega-6 range, we can talk about even primrose oil, borage oil, black currant seed oil, and other precious oils. For vitamins, for example, we can choose among carotenoids, lutein coming from marigold flower, lycopene coming from tomato, beta-carotene that can come from different sources, for example, carrots, but not only, also from fermented source from algal or yeast. And of course, we can use extracts and botanics of various sources. We can mention, for example, supercritical carbon dioxide extract, which is well sweet with veggie capsule because of their absence of residues solvent, and plant phospholipids, for example, but also plant essential oils. So to match, we can think of this ingredient to match, for example, with aromatherapy trend, which is widespread, especially in France, just to give some examples. Let's start with a practical example. Let's think to have a company as a background that have a all-natural supplement brand with the traditional current product in the omega-3 category, like a fish oil in gelatin, standard gelatin bovine. So this, the brand would require a product to be non-animal based and the natural ingredient. The objective is to launch an all-natural, non-animal, vegetarian sourced omega-3 product to align with the brand's marketing position. What can we propose? We can propose a switch from the current product in standard gelatin, Softgel, with the fish oil, to a new one in with the shell, Veggie capsule, and choosing the right ingredients in order to substitute the fish oil. We can have, for example, opportunity to use algal oil standardized both in DHA and EPA, because if the market of interest is Europe, we can think to reach the condition of use of EFSA for the claim of normal function of the earth that is obtainable with 250 milligrams a day of EPA DHA. This is one example. But we can do also another example. Let's think to have here a premium line for established eye health supplement brand. So when a product for eye health is already present in the pipeline of a company within a well-established brand, the usual background of this product is a formulation that is reproducing the most famous studies for the age-related macular disease, which is a disease where no real cure is existing. So food supplements acquire the good awareness among specialists and consumers in the prevention area, of course. Let's think to one company that have an RH2-like formulation in its pipeline with typical ingredients like lutein, fish oil, zinc, copper, vitamin C, vitamin E, and that can be associated with other antioxidants or other ingredients, targeted to adult over 50 years old. What can we propose to this company? We can propose to switch its current product into a new product where a Veggie capsule can give, if well associated with the choice of the right type of ingredients, really an added value to the product and to the pipeline. We can, for example, choose algal oil instead of fish oil, and a source of minerals and vitamins from natural source, or synthetic source but not animal. Lutein is derived from marigold flower, so it's already natural. And this formulation can have a good perception of animal-free and can add unique selling proposition and new targets customers to this product. No more only adults, but also with this formulation, the company will be able to reach natural-oriented consumers, for example, vegetarians or generally people interested in natural, and also cultural and religious constraints part of the population. Another example. Now here, let's imagine to have a cosmetic company that wants to enter in the food supplements arena with an established premium skincare brand, targeting women who are dedicated to their skincare regimen, and which also includes a focus on health and nutrition. The objective would be to expand the brand into new complementary categories, like the one of food supplement, and to try to launch a new product, a new supplement, to complement the consumer's existing skincare, to associate food supplements to a topic 9. So let's see what can we work to do a product, to propose and develop a product that can match with the cosmetic pipeline that is already premium and who is already using in the cosmetic brand natural ingredients found in nature and backed by science. We know that animal-free is an already well-established trend in cosmetics. It's something like a pillar. So with Veggie Caps, we can find a way to match this pillar and to bring it also to the food nutritional opportunity. We can so to formulate a product made in a Veggie Caps capsule, a product that would be a beauty from within supplements with specific benefits depending on the ingredients that can be chosen for the formulation. We can have an antioxidant, a collagen booster, vitamins, or even other kind of ingredients like the one that we mentioned before, that have a dual connotation both in cosmetic and in oral beauty, and create a product that targets women natural-oriented that are already using topical products. So with our Veggie Caps, we can offer you a model that supports a range of innovation strategies. We can help you to create new business opportunities and meet market demands for animal-free and natural products. So let us help us to solve your innovation challenge. And now I hand back to Michael for question and answer session.
Thank you, Claudia. If you have a question, please submit it now using the Ask a Question box in the lower right corner of your screen. If we are not able to answer all the questions during the webcast, we will share the remaining questions with our speaker, and she will respond to you directly. Here's our first question. This one is for Claudia. What are some supplement segments that could benefit from non-animal, plant-based Veggie Caps?
Well, there are many segments in general, but what I am experiencing more often in this period is the company that wants to create a supplement that can enter different territories without changing the formulation. I'm thinking, for example, to territories where there are religious or cultural constraints. If the company is, for example, a multinational wants to enter different territories, by using Veggie Caps, Softgel, the company can think to produce one product and to have it suitable for different countries. Because this gives also a tool to simplify the product range. and also to manage it.
Okay, great. Let's see. Another question here for Claudia. What are the reasons that consumers look for vegetarian-based soft gels?
Well, the reasons are multiples. First of all, the natural desire, the natural approach of that we have seen as increasing lifestyle is translatable also in the choice of the consumers. And what we are experiencing is that customers are asking for a way to fulfill the needs, the vegetable and the natural needs of the consumers, also in terms of free from. So if we use vegetable oils and ingredients that are already free from any kind of preservatives or obtained with, for example, specific process without solvents or any other substance that can create any concern, we can really use the tool of Veggie Cups to meet the demand in terms of entering the free-from market and the needs for natural products.
All right, great. Let's see. This next question here is for Monica. It is, do you see the natural trend staying for good, or will it become a fad?
Thanks, Michael. Actually, this is a good question because sometimes we've seen, fads coming and going. But in this case, the natural trend is here to stay for different reasons. The first one is that people are living longer. So as they live longer, they want to prevent getting sick. So that's obviously changing the mindset in terms of how people are taking care of their health and how they are starting to adopt, health and wellness practices that will foster, more healthful lifestyle that will promote, healthier long living. So I will call that, health optimization in a healthier aging space. And not only that, consumers are also paying much more attention on what they are taking, not only as foods and beverages, but also in the supplements, in the drug space, etc. So they are putting, definitely attention to what the label is, to the sourcing of the products, how they are made, transparency in terms of, if companies are held more liable in types of primary packaging ingredients, etc., that are being used to produce the product. So this is definitely a generational shift that is going to stay for a good amount of time. And, this is a good time or a wake-up call for many companies to start thinking what is coming ahead.
Okay. And let's see, this next question is also for you, Monica. It is there a direct relationship between household income and the emerging interest in natural supplements?
Wow, this is another interesting question. Well, it depends on, what lens you are using to look at these natural trends in consumer behavior, because some may think that natural products, just because some of them carry a premium price, will be out of accessibility or affordability for certain type of consumers. However, this may be the case in some markets with certain brands, yet the natural, perception of products is actually embedded in communities or in countries where consumers have used traditional or folk medicine for a long time. They have had a closer contact to nature in terms of looking at these natural preventive and treatment in nature. So obviously, even though we cannot, make the assessment just because a product is natural, it has not to be affordable. On the contrary, I think there's a room for every type of consumer within different, income levels in order to address this specific need for the natural trend from their particular point of view. While, in high household incomes, it may be perceived as the new trend and, premium, etc. In the lower household incomes, it's actually people know that using the old remedies that grandma and grandpa used to use that were based on natural ingredients is coming back.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Monica.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our last question here is going to be for Claudia again. That is, how is the size of the Softgel defined, and can it change after production?
Well, the Softgel size is defined by the pockets inside the rotating roll die, and it cannot be changed after production because it's well defined, and also the dosage of the ingredients is extremely precise, and it remains after the production, so it's not changeable.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for questions. Thank you to Claudia and Monica. Nutritional Outlook appreciates your time and effort to help make this webinar a success. And finally, thanks to everyone in the audience. We appreciate your attention and participation. We hope that what you heard and saw today was interesting and helpful. This presentation will be available shortly in an on-demand format. As a registered user, you will receive an email with detailed information on how you can access the on-demand replay of this webinar. Please feel free to invite your colleagues and peers who may not have been available to listen to the event. This webinar is copyright 2015 by Nutritional Outlook. The presentation materials are owned by or copyright by Catalent. The individual speakers are solely responsible for their content and opinions. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.